Weatherbug says it's 92 out there, but it feels like 99. I'm gonna have to agree. I'm headed to town to run an errand and possibly picking Johnny up from his friend's birthday celebration. I'm here to provide a little bit of a public service announcement today with regard to your cell phone provider, internet provider, and maybe TV provider. So Time Warner Cable, Spectrum TV, Sprint, AT&T, Verizon, DirecTV, Dish, any of those folks. You really should, every 6 or 12 months, make sure that you are on the most efficient, cheapest, best plan for you, because these providers, they change the plans often, and not sometimes you're cheaper for you and sometimes not, and you just kind of gotta look at the current plans and make a decision. I found out today that what was our Time Warner Cable plan, which is now our Spectrum plan, that we've been overpaying about $20 a month. So the guy said, look, I can put you on the current plan and you'll get the same or better internet speed, and it's going to save you $20 a month. So, you know, I've been looking regularly, reviewing our Sprint bill and making sure we're on the best plan, but I hadn't been paying too much attention to the cable people, because the internet people, because most of them are just trying to sell us their TV solution, which we have Dish, so we weren't too interested. I've seen articles that said you really ought to move providers and often, or threaten providers with moving and often, because that's the best way to get the best price. But unfortunately, it really does take our looking out for ourselves to make sure we're getting the best. So we changed our plan. Our internet went down temporarily. It's going to save us $20 a month. We're getting the same speed. What we did learn, though, is that the new plan, not only is it cheaper, but it comes with a cable modem at no additional equipment fee. So I'm going to go pick up their included modem, and we're going to give it a try. We have a Motorola Surfboard from 2013, which they rate up to 100 megabits per second, but download speed. But our plan supposedly says we can get up to 200 megabits per second. So we're going to just plug theirs in and give it a try and see what it does. And then, if we're still not getting 100 or better, because most of the time we're getting 70 or 80 megabits per second download speed, then we're either going to talk to their tech support or possibly buy our own upgraded cable modem. But at any point, thanks to an unplanned investigation of our Spectrum account, we're going to save $20 a month. I've been on Time Warner Cable, which was bought out by Spectrum, since the early 90s, and so has Dawn. When I moved, we kept my plan because it had my email address that I was still using, which I've mostly migrated off of, but there's still a couple things using that one. And so it was kind of important with regard to that, but we never really reevaluated the plan. We're on the same plan we were on when I moved over here in 2013, and that was before Spectrum bought them. So, any point, take a minute to check your plans. Yeah. So the location that I need to head to pick up this free included equipment modem is in Apex. I'm not anticipating that being more than about a 10-mile drive, and that's where I'm headed first. They close at 5, and it's 2:50 in the afternoon now, and I want to make sure I get up there before they close. Okay, so it's a smidge farther than I thought, but it's not that far. Ruby's suggesting I take the toll road, but since it's Sunday afternoon and Highway 55 pretty much goes right up to where I'm headed, I am going to opt to stay on 55 and wait for her to redraw the location, the directions for me. I have to say that I've seen a marked improvement in Ruby's ability to redraw the navigation once I've gone past my turn, and it's pretty obvious that I'm choosing to go a different way. So yeah, that's really good. She did that in like 30 seconds right away. Oops, I didn't mean not to pull up far enough. I'm over here at Beaver Creek Shopping Center in Apex, and here's Spectrum. I came around to the back side for a quote-unquote safer parking spot. Did I say it was hot? It's hot. So the guys in there were really helpful. When I went in, they weren't too busy, and there were 3 of them, like a team guy that'd been there a long time and a newer guy that I worked with, and that was good. He provided good service, but he was still sort of learning. So it turns out that 20 extra bucks we were paying, we actually could have had double the speed. So 400 megabits upload and download and 20 megabits upload. That might only be achieved on the Ethernet though, which my MacBook can't do, and no contract. So I told him to turn that on for a month or 2, and we'll figure out if I really think it's faster and worth the 20 bucks, and I can just call him and turn it back off if I don't. Probably should note in my head what our billing cycle dates are. So we're now not saving $20, but we should have better speed for the same cost. So it was still very productive to go in and look at our account today. I have the new modem in this really nice Spectrum bag. And the only thing they didn't warn me about was that it cut Don off at the house. So our options were him to stay cut off until I get home and gets it hooked up, which won't take him long, or they could put him back on and we'd have to call and get the new one recognized. And I called and talked to Don, and he said he'll call his brother on the real phone and wait for me to get home patiently. And I said, okay. It's 4:10 though, and Johnny will be home a little bit after 5. I don't have to go get him. And you know he's going to want the internet, so I best not dilly-dally on getting back to the house so Don can install this new cable modem. You know what started all of this is that these 4K files with the new vlogging camera are creating much larger files, and it's taking me a lot longer to download and upload things so that I can get our video out there. Like this morning, I waited a long time. I just can't do anything fast anymore. There's no fast. So it may be to get that 20 megabit upload speed that I'm going to put a computer near the cable modem that has an Ethernet and actually plug it in just so I can upload the files from there. Yeah, I'm going to have to think about that. Not actually do any work on that computer, but one that's hooked up that I can upload on. We actually have a small Lenovo in the closet that's basically, it hosts our printer. And I wonder if it has a camera, has a card adapter slot, or I can plug in a card adapter. And Don usually remotes into it, but maybe I can learn how to remote into it. I'll have to talk with them and see if that's an option, or if I'd actually need a different computer in there, or what we can do, because, you know, saving 15, 20, 30 minutes or more a day moving files, if it moves faster on a machine that has an Ethernet connection to the cable modem, that would be worth me changing my workflow a little bit. Quick stop here at the Harris Teeter in Holly Springs. I need just a couple items. I promise to be quick, Donnie. I know you don't have any internet. This store is so crowded. I'm just like dying in here. And I usually do fine in crowds, but this mermaid is so cute. And so I love the spaceship. So Donnie, I can explain.
Yeah?
It took me extra time before I left there.
Uh-huh.
But we can now get logged on from our phones to to Spectrum Wi-Fi when we're out and about.
Oh, well, that's good.
And I would not leave until my phone was connected and I have the right credentials to get your phone connected.
Well,
of course, we'll have to test it when we're out.
We'll have to test that.
And so here's the other thing. We're now going to be paying the same thing we were paying.
Yeah.
But we're going to get 400 megabits.
Yeah.
Download and 20 megabits upload if connected via Ethernet, he promised.
Right, that's cool.
So we're still better off than we were, but we're not saving money anymore. They offered me that up there, and but there's no contract.
Yeah.
So if we can't get really better speed,
yeah,
then we just turn it back off in a month.
But do we have to pay a monthly fee for
No.
Okay.
No,
right.
No monthly fee for that, and that one supports the 400 megabits.
Okay.
Download.
Right.
So we'll give it a try.
Right. I have a gigabit switch for the LAN ports, because there's only like one or two. The point I'm trying to say is I have the stuff that we can use that we might if you plug the cable in.
Right, obtain the speed.
Yeah, in other words, I could go Cat 6 cable from the television to the gigabit switch, to the gigabit router, to the gigabit connection to the modem. Therefore, you have a gigabit.
Make it fast, Donnie.
Make it fast.
I don't need to know.
Yeah.
Just fix
I used
it.
to only have 100 meg switch.
Oh, that won't do.
Switch. Yeah, that won't work. Well, now that we technically might be able to actually get greater than 100 megabits.
Right.
Maybe the old 100 megabit 8-port switch that I was funneling everything through is no longer up. But I knew this day was coming, and I bought the gigabit switch. But I didn't install it because, you know, I redid the cabinet and all that stuff, so I wasn't fooling with that at that point in time.
It's 5:10, and Johnny ought to be here any second. Get busy.
Well, now, the thing I want to point out to everybody, Don Miller, was able to completely live without internet for 90 minutes. She was up there and they undid something, and as soon as they undid it, I went over and looked at the cable modem lights and says, that's not the way they normally flash.
Yeah.
So I sent her a message that says, are you at the cable place? She said, yes, hang on. And so I did without
Well, they
internet
failed to warn me that it was going to cut you off, both the chat guy this morning and the nice new guy who was learning at the store. But he offered to put you back on in like 30 more seconds if you said you couldn't deal.
Right, but I wanted to show that I am not.
Well, you got a Kindle. I mean, well, you know, you got a phone.
Well, I didn't, but I didn't use my phone. I talked on the to my brother. I called my brother.
Yes.
I made use of the time.
You didn't tell him that you were calling him because you didn't have internet service.
Well, no,
did you admit that while you were talking to him? Hi, JB, we love you.
Yeah, but the whole point is I said, oh, well, cool. I just called JB real quick. But of course, there's those with JB and I on the phone. There's no such thing as real quick.
Yeah, I'm sure. We all believe that, Donnie. Yeah.
Both of us can be rather chatty.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Mom.
Did you have fun at the Olive Garden and your friend's birthday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. Glad to hear it. Johnny actually took that the internet is down really well. Don's using his label maker again. And he's making productive use of his time, visiting the cats and doing a couple of other chores. So that's very good. Don had to go into our router and let it know that we had a new cable modem or something. Initially, things wouldn't connect. Right. And this morning when we went on fast.com, we were getting about 70 megabits. And so 180 is certainly doubled what we often see. We rarely see 90. That's, you know... the upload speed, though, at 12 megabits is a little disappointing still. We would see 12 sometimes. But the guy did tell me to get the 20. We probably needed to Ethernet connect. And just, Don says we probably can do that with the computer in the closet if we get a card reader that I can easily access. So we'll be working on that, but not today. Don says he only wants to change one thing today. And that's the cable modem. And the download speed's at least twice as fast, but it's still not the 400 megabytes up to that we supposedly could see.
Right.
Don's using remote desktop to the Lenovo computer. That's our print router host in the closet. At any point, you can see that when you're actually having Ethernet connection and not Wi-Fi, you get a pretty good speed because we're up to 400 megabits and up to 20 megabits. And here we're at 340 and 15, so that's looking not too bad at the moment.
Yeah, this is a Cat 6 cable plugged straight into a 1 gigabit internet port on my router, which plugs into the 1 gigabit into the cable. So basically, this is about as fast as it's going to get.
And Don's going to help set me up so that we can put my camera card on this computer that's hardwired for the uploads. So hopefully we'll get a really solid upload speed because that's the main thing slowing me down so much every day right now. In order to have a healthy family and eat good stuff, somebody's got to cook. That would be me, usually. Don cooks sometimes, breakfast especially. But anyway, tonight we're having meatballs and spaghetti squash. No carbs means no real spaghetti. And the reason why I picked this tonight is because it's really great to send in a thermos for Johnny's lunches this week. You think it's appropriate too? Do you? Hey, you think it's good too? Yeah? Okay.